Ladies and gentlemen, today's video we are going to be making Sunday cheat day sliders, wholesome comfort food for your cheat day or just a day inside. Alright, so the basic ingredients, what we have here, let's go ahead and start with our base and then we'll work our way up. I highly recommend you can do this with tortillas if you want, but I've done a couple hacks and I've actually done pita bread at Trader Joe's, but this is my new favorite. This is Trader Joe's garlic Indian style flatbread. This stuff is absolutely amazing, smells deluxe, and it's nice and thick. We'll of course show you that. That's gonna fill you up. It's just a heartier, beautiful taste, in my opinion, than regular tortillas. We have organic eggs right here. I only do 2. Now this recipe that I'm going to show you, I'm a big eater for my cheat day, and so this recipe is actually going to be for 1 person, but of course you can share. It's going to make 2 sliders. We're going to do a half stick, again a half stick of soy chorizo by Trader Joe's. I recommend soy just because it doesn't pop out and it's still oily as we can see here, but it's just a little bit more digestive sensitive, if you guys know what I'm talking about. My stomach doesn't turn. I don't feel ill afterwards. It doesn't tear me up on cheat day because, again, I only eat this 1 time a week. Or I should say eating dirty 1 time a week. I would go with soy once again because it's just easier on the digestive system. If you're totally against soy, of course they have beef or pork chorizo in your refrigerated food section, but this is half a stick of Trader Joe's soy chorizo, Trader Joe's garlic Indian flatbread, Costco organic eggs, doesn't have to be Costco, and then over at Ralph's Kroger, we're doing sharp cheddar cheese. Now you can do it any kind of style. I like the sharp, it just pops the taste real beautifully, so grab yourself whatever your favorite cheese is. Lastly, we're going to be sprinkling a little bit of buffalo sauce, just a little bit, because you don't want to overpower it. That's going to be buffalo sauce just for a little drizzle. So pick that up at Kroger. I picked that up at Ralph's. If you have a Ralph's, it's the Kroger brand. Now coming over to your pans, what you want to do is you don't want to use something like this, especially if you are going to be using the beef or pork chorizo. It's going to be splashing on you because the oil, it's going to get all over your backsplash. So my hack to do this is use a nice deep one like this. I would go this one actually over even something like this or like this. This one is double the thickness, if not triple. And what that does is that causes a nice deep base to it. So the beef and the pork is still gonna jump a little bit, but not as much as something like this. So do it deep, put it on low heat, we'll show you that, so the oil's not bouncing around. The soy, in my opinion, does extremely well and better with the popping out onto your backsplash, etc. Okay, let's go ahead and begin. So grab your cup of coffee and let's go ahead and begin. All right, I like to use a little bit of spray just because the eggs, I don't want to have my pan all nasty and really hard to clean. So we're actually going to get the sides of it as well, and of course the bottom base. And that is just non-stick cooking spray. Doesn't have to be canola oil. All right, the half stick is in. Now when I mean a half stick, it comes in kind of a horseshoe shaped where it goes all the way around. I cut it in half and use 1 strip right before the turn. Flop that in. Now we're going to go gas stove. If it's not gas, if you have an electric one, I'm going to crank it down to about 2. We want low, maybe on the border of medium heat. We don't want this cooking too fast, and we don't want to overcook the chorizo either. This does cook up pretty good. Make sure if you're using beef or pork that you're making sure to completely cook it. You don't want to over dry it. And so what I do is I just kind of chop it up like this, let that heat up, and we'll go ahead and stir this. Again, you want to keep your chorizo moist. The eggs are going to definitely help out as well. And I'll show you don't want to over dry the eggs either. Now, of course, this is definitely not a healthy meal at all. This is comfort food. This is cheat day food. This is spike your metabolism food. If you want to do it vegan, substitute the eggs for something else. You don't even have to do eggs if you don't want to. I personally like them, but since the chorizo is soy, you're already off to a good start. You could do some vegan cheese, substitute the eggs, keep that in mind. So what I do here is as it starts to heat up, I just go ahead and mix it on in there and stir it around and then let it kind of sit once again. But if you are cooking the pork or beef, make sure that you fully cook it, obviously. We don't want anybody getting sick, so you want to cook that like ground beef or chicken all the way through. Again, you'll notice the chorizo starts to look a little bit dry, but just a little bit moist. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. And what you want to do is you want to go ahead and catch it at a good limit so we get our eggs in there. Again, you don't want to over dry the soy chorizo. The beef and pork, you can tell a little bit more better with how far along that is cooked. But the soy definitely can overcook quick if you're not careful. So make sure that it looks just a tiny bit moist, but nice and cooked as we see here. Looking good. It's time to add the eggs. All right, guys, if you made it this far into the video, please thumb that video up for the eggs. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button below. Comment if you guys have a different recipe or maybe some tricks or seasonings that I'm not putting in here that you would recommend. That's 2 eggs, only 2 eggs. And then what I do is I just literally scramble it. I just drop them in, crack them and drop them in. And then I literally just bring this into a nice scramble. It's almost like it's just like a big buffet. You know what I'm saying? We're just scrambling it in. And this is where we do want to be careful as well so that we're not over cooking the eggs inside there as well. You're still going to get obviously a little bit of stick on the bottom of the pan. That's just the name of the game. Now the eggs are going to cook in there very, very quickly. As we can see here, we still have some nice moisture consistency there. We don't want, again, over dry our eggs with the chorizo. So let's go ahead and put that over there now. Now I accidentally turned that off, so we're going to go ahead and turn that back on here to maybe even a little bit lower, maybe halfway point between the low and the 2. We want a nice low heat for our Indian flatbread. Okay, once again, we're going to be doing 2 of these. So they are already cooked, obviously, or already baked, I should say. But what we're going to do is we're going to warm these up over a nice natural fire like this. If you're in a pinch and you don't have a gas stove, you can do the microwave if you want. But we're going to lightly heat these on both sides so they're nice and hot to the touch. They cool off pretty quickly afterwards. So we're going to have to dish this and serve this nice and piping hot. We're going to do this to 2 of them and then we're going to serve. But the garlic permeates the kitchen and it smells so good. It absolutely smells deluxe. Okay, there's 1. Let's go 2. All right, then what I do there now is I just evenly spread it out to both Indian flatbreads. Again, on camera you can't really tell, but that is a major slider right there, looking absolutely spot on, fantastic. Now it's time to add the cheese of your choice. And then lastly, adding your wing sauce. Again, this is going to overpower some of the taste, so don't do too much. As we can see right there, right over the top of the sharp cheese. Now, recommendation, as you're cooking, go ahead and leave this out so it just becomes a little bit more of temperature, so it's not as cold. And as you can see here, it's melting on top of the chorizo right now. Now, your Indian flatbread will cool down pretty quickly. It will have, obviously, the hot chorizo and eggs on top, so you want to go ahead and serve this and eat this pretty quickly. The buffalo sauce did come out of the refrigerator. That's up to you if you want to refrigerate that or not. I'm not even sure if you can have that at room temperature. It says refrigerate after opening, so know that that's going to be cold as well. So I leave that stuff out as I'm cooking. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Sunday sliders for you. This is comfort. This is bulking. This is carbohydrate loading for your week ahead. Dwayne Rock Johnson, The Rock, he's in for a special treat. If you ever see this, let's do a cheat day together, my friend. And the reason I love the Indian flatbread, it's just so gorgeous, fluffy, warm, hot. Got the buffalo sauce in there. That's a good slider. Hit that subscribe button on the way out and comment below, guys, if you've enjoyed this. Stay tuned for my other cheat day recipes that I've perfected over the years. This is probably the best recipe I have for Sunday sliders. You guys take care.
Don't let the party stop, guys. Hit one of these videos, continue to watch, and we'll see you soon.